Hey guys, welcome back here to the farm. We're in the blueberry patch today. It is a balmy 93 degrees with a heat index of 101, so I'll be making this very quick. We have had so much rain lately that the ground has just been so saturated, so I finally was able to cut the grass. And I've been adding grass clippings to the base of my blueberries here. And I noticed for the first time since I planted these blueberries, by the way, they're doing fantastic. Look at this over here. I mean, these nice big clusters of berries on this little guy right here. Now I forget the name, I think these are blue crop, but look at this. Guys, these are the first ripe blueberries here at the experimental blueberry patch here at the farm. And I gotta say, they are doing quite well. As you can look around, now they're not huge as they were just babies, and I got most of these were just basically giveaways from a local farm that cut little saplings in the springtime, and they were just trying to sell them. They didn't sell, and they practically gave them away, so like for a very, very cheap price. So most of these guys really I thought had no chance of even surviving, quite honestly. But like I said, I mean, some of these are much bigger than others. I mean, these guys here are doing fantastic. They had their aluminum sulfate fertilizer and some cottonseed meal this spring, and I've really just been hands off with them, guys. So that's what I try to make this as much at the farm here, to show you just more of a hands-off approach. You don't have to be out here hoeing every day and pulling every little weed. I mean, just keeps a nice mulch down, and the plants will do just fine, trust me. So let me go ahead and harvest one of these berries here and try it out. Now you can tell it's ripe because it just falls right off of the plant there. There's a peak of ripeness, so this is the first taste test here. Try it out. Wow, so sweet, a little bit of tartness. That is amazing. Okay, so let's go check out some of the other berries we have planted here on the farm in this quick little extremely hot berry tour. Okay, so let's not bore everybody with just repetition, but all of these raspberries I planted, they were bare root stock, planted probably in early May, maybe late April, I'll have to check, but they're all starting to leaf out, except for a couple like this one here. I don't believe is going to really amount to anything, but I think we did contact the company, and they're going to replace a couple. I think out of our 27, like maybe 4 didn't grow, which is in hindsight pretty good odds. And with the raspberries, along with blackberries, another cane fruit, you can tip layer them or just propagate that way. So it's not the end of the world if you have 1 or 2 berries that just don't grow. Give it a year or 2, and you'll have enough to fill in all of the gaps, I assure you. So go ahead and just keep the tour rolling over here. Now, these are the Japanese wineberries I told you I rescued from the golf course before they got bulldozed. Some of these actually have a little bit of a fruit set on them. I'll show you what that looks like, as they are very, very sad and wilty. As I told you, it is so hot out right now. But in case you've never seen it, that's what the flower and the premature fruit of the Japanese wineberry looks like right there. All those little red hairs on it. But yeah, like, look at these leaves right here. They're absolutely just kind of wilting on us from just being so overly hot and humid right now. And just do a quick pan over here at the garden. Now, I know most people when they see this are going to kind of have a little bit of a panic attack because it's not perfectly manicured and there's not, there's weeds here and there. But check it out. See this giant mass right here? These are potatoes, okay? And they're doing amazing. Yes, are there some weeds in there? Probably, but you know what? I've been mulching with grass clippings and they're doing amazing. I was digging around. There are some baby potatoes forming. Now this was a trout here with just the black weed barrier plastic. It's supposed to be biodegradable. I'm not really sure if they are or not, but there are some squash right here and some other experimental plants. And we move over here to the onions and sunflowers and elephant garlic that needs to be harvested. But what I really want to try to explain here is, check it out. So these crops have what's called living row covers, or living mulch, basically between the pathways. So I think that helps cut down on erosion. It helps, if you want to plow this entire thing up and disc it up and spend the rest of your life spraying chemicals or pulling weeds to make it look good. I mean, go for it. But I mean, this is doing just fantastic. I mean, I use my little battery-powered mower that fits these little rows here just fine. I use the grass clippings as a mulch on the rest of the garden, which they do appreciate. And like I said, I've had really no trouble whatsoever as far as with the overtaking with weeds, something like that. Just keep it knocked down, and it's doing quite well. One of my overwintered dahlias, which was a surprise because they're not supposed to survive in this climate, I had a bunch, only two. These two plants here actually did survive here in zone 6B, which, you know, last winter was actually fairly cold, so didn't have a lot of really going for it as far as protection. So those that did survive, maybe there'll be a more of a hardier variety of seed-grown dahlias. And I'll just show you real quick over here what I have in this final area over here. Now these are pumpkins, a couple of different kinds. There's white pumpkins and regular jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I have some Seminole pumpkins, which are, you know, the edible type, and I have some of I forget the name of them. They are Greek or Mediterranean. They make a really long, just a gigantic squash with a nice sweet orange fruit. What I'm doing here, guys, just explain it real quick. Why do I have these little spots out here in the middle of this in the grass as well? When I started clearing this whole place off, as this was a hay field just not too long ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, this was all brush through here, guys, all the way from that fence line over there that you couldn't even find. Brush and weeds were growing out to, I mean, even into where the garden is now. So this had to all be reclaimed. And every time I cut the brush, I made a little brush pile and I burned it up. And then I added some manure to the ashes and the almost terra preta, more like the charcoal. Really tried to keep it from burning down to you know, completely turning white and turning into ash. So I planted these little pumpkin and squash mounds, and with the idea that they're going to grow in the fertility of the little pile where the burn was, and that these are running tight, as you can tell here, starting to vine out. That eventually these things are just going to take over this area and hopefully eventually shade out some of the grass and make it easier next season or in the fall to kind of, you know, maybe plow a little bit more, or just kind of maybe plant some fruit trees or more bushes over here. Not really sure. This old greenhouse fabric, I had a greenhouse that got destroyed in a giant windstorm, so I saved the plastic tarp on it. I'm basically using it right here to solarize some of the grass here to see how well it does at, you know, killing the grass. And if it does good, then I'll try it in other places. So that's kind of an experiment, so nothing goes to waste, even though the greenhouse pretty much got destroyed prior to ever being able to use it, thanks to a freak 70-mile-an-hour windstorm that was just crazy that one day, way back in, I think, April, if it was. But there you go. That's just a little quick tour. Hear what's going on at the farm. Definitely super excited to have some fresh blueberries for the first time ever here. So this was an old hayfield, and I've turned it into what it is so far with just a little bit of time, with just hand tools, and a lot of hard work. But like I said, once you get it under control, just maintaining it, letting the system work for you, it can be done. So hopefully this does inspire you. Hopefully you did like it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, guys. Hope to see you back here for some more gardening tips, advice, some little garden walkthroughs, just all around gardening. All right, guys, so from my hillside to yours, hopefully I'll see you again here next time. All right, guys, bye-bye.